Hello everyone, the sun is in Libra, the moon is in Virgo. Our transits are wherever they are, but don't worry, we will make it through. I'm Snappy Cappy and I'm finally back with part 2 of my mini-series. For those late in the game, I recently started the launch of my mini-series involving the elements. And in this series, I not only talk about what makes the elements themselves differentiate from each other, for instance, what makes a fire sign different than an air sign. I go deeper than that by differentiating each of the signs within their own respective element. In part 1 of the series, I went over the broad differences between each of the fire signs. So in today's video, I will be going over the broad differences between each of the earth signs. Before I get going on that, I feel like I need to address something. When it comes to uploading videos, I try to upload my videos about every 2 weeks. I give myself time in uploading videos for 2 reasons. The first reason is I am quite the perfectionist. I always want to give myself extra time to think about what specific things I should be adding in my videos so that my content can be interesting and fun. It's also important for me that my words make sense for what I will be discussing in my videos. Because if people are coming to my channel to learn more about astrology and my words are not helping anybody understand what it is I'm going over, then I would be making crap content. And the second reason is I am not an astrologer. I know enough about astrology to bring content to the table, but I am not advanced in the craft. So I also take the extra time to study more on my own. I'm not up to the point where I can upload multiple videos in a month, but, you know, I've always been a quality over a quantity type of gal anyways, so... And I'm just throwing that all out there because I am well aware that by the time that this video is uploaded, it is definitely going to be past the 2-week mark. The past week and a half my schedule had been pretty inflexible. But if this video is being watched, then I'm assuming that means all is good. So, let us all light a candle and enjoy. So the 3 earth signs consist of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And of course, since they all bundle up in one particular element, they all share these characteristics in common. And those traits are practicality, stability, patience, industriousness, and groundedness. Now, the earth signs are very interesting to me because I typically like to see them as a little family. And what I mean by that is I have always seen Capricorn and Virgo as like siblings, whereas Taurus is like the cousin of those signs. The reason why I had assigned them in those particular roles in my mind is because Capricorn and Virgo have a type A personality and Taurus has a type B personality. Now, as you can see from this diagram, this distinctly shows the major differences between people who carry traits from type A and people who carry traits from type B. Now, as you can see with type A, people who are type A, again, like Virgo and Capricorn, they tend to be people who are highly competitive, achievement-oriented, they're very time-conscious, they have a very challenging time when it comes to relaxing, and their schedules pretty much become inflexible. And then you have people like Taurus who have a type B personality where they're just extremely patient, it's easy for them to relax, they're very laid back, they're very easygoing, and they're just all around much more calmer. So that gives you a more easier approach when trying to understand the differences between the earth signs. Now, if you watched my last video where I went over the differences with the fire signs, the formatting for that was basically I went over each of the fire signs in chronological order. That's not how it's going to be in this video. Since I assigned them to those family type roles, I figured it would be so much easier for me to go over Capricorn and Virgo together since I described them as siblings, and then I figured since I assigned Taurus as the cousin, I was going to explain Taurus at the end. I mean, I have no idea how long this video is going to be until after filming and after I'm done editing, but I would say this video is going to be pretty simplistic, especially since 2 of the 3 earth signs are very similar to each other, and there's a very limited amount of differences between them, and then you have the other one that's a very simple and straightforward sign. So I'm just letting out a warning that this video is not going to be as too much in depth as the fire signs are. So with the earth signs, with this video, it's going to be pretty simplistic. Alright, so with Capricorns and Virgos. Again, I cannot stress this enough by saying they are pretty similar to each other, and they are very similar to each other because of the fact that they are both perfectionists, they're both detail-oriented, they're both skeptical, they both love being in control, and they are both prone to anxiousness and stress. Now, I understand that when first learning about these 2 particular signs, it can be a bit confusing because of how similar they are. So to try and help make it crystal clear with their distinct differences, I will first lay out a couple of basic fundamentals. Capricorns are very business-oriented people. And again, I'm doing so many checklists in this video, but they are all about wanting money, status, power, recognition, and a well-established career. Virgos are all about wanting to help serve people. The key word with Virgo is serve. They prefer to work behind the scenes versus Capricorn preferring to work in the eye of the public. There was a comment that I read some time ago, and I can't remember where it was off of, but someone made a very simple statement when it came to differentiating a Capricorn from a Virgo. They said to think of Capricorn as the CEO and Virgo as their right-hand man. For Virgos, again, because they love to help others, they are seen as caregivers and people pleasers. Whereas with Capricorns, they are more on the self-serving end. They have a tendency to put their career and responsibilities first before anything else. An important aspect to look at when trying to differentiate 2 signs is by looking at the sign that they represent. So for instance, in differentiating Capricorns and Virgos, Capricorn is the sign of the goat. And since they are achievement-oriented, they want to keep climbing, like a goat, to the very top of that mountain until they've reached success. Virgos are the sign of the Virgin. Do not take that word literally with them. Virgo's symbol of the Virgin actually represents a purity of intentions. Virgos want to help heal others. They want to help people live up to their highest potentials. They have this strong feeling in wanting to feel like they are of use. To also help differentiate 2 signs, or multiple signs, but in this case 2, you can look at their ruling planet. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, a very disciplined planet, a planet that's linked to responsibilities. Think of Capricorns like the strict parental figure. It's because of this sternness and authoritativeness that Capricorns are often described as mature, even from a very young age. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, logic, and problem solving. It's a planet that basically governs the mind. Virgos constantly overanalyze things and are always forming an opinion on everything. They cannot stand it when people don't have the facts. Now, before going over to Taurus, I thought it would be a fun little bonus to just add in the perfectionist side of Capricorn and Virgo. So even though both signs are perfectionists, they both tend to aim it in different directions. With Capricorns, we now already know at this point that they are all about their careers. They're all about being, achievement oriented. Their perfectionism is going to aim towards their work skills, their achievements, their goals. Capricorns are known for being major workaholics and very goal-oriented, ambitious people. So finding success is their major focus in life. And that's where they'll be the harshest at with themselves. I mean, Everyone wishes to find success, but Capricorns are uber hungry for it. Again, they will keep on climbing that mountain until they've reached its peak. But they tend to be insecure with themselves, thinking that despite the fact that they have reached their goal, they don't feel like they are good enough. And they can often compare their success to somebody else's success, their chapter to somebody else's chapter. So in those moments, they will keep pushing themselves, even if it's past their limits, to try and feel like they've reached an accomplishment. They'll feel this way even when they are constantly being told by other people that they haven't made. Now, with Virgos, Virgos are not just the top perfectionists of the earth signs. Virgos are the ultimate perfectionists of the zodiac. It is the one thing that Virgos are notorious for. They want to perfect everything and anything. Sometimes they even feel the need to perfect people by helping them organize their life better or by playing therapist. Which is nice, but sometimes they can get to the point where they can be hypercritical. While they want what's best for the other person, they can have moments where they end up turning into a steamroller and pushing their own thoughts and ideas onto other people. It's actually soothing to them when they feel as though there needs to be something that needs to be worked on. Otherwise, they'll become very restless. So those were our siblings of the earth signs. Now let's move on to the cousin. Taurus, like I said, is a very simple sign to talk about. So this will be kind of a short explanation because, again, like I said earlier, Taurus is a very straightforward sign. I used the word simple for Taurus because that's just how they like to live their lives. Compared to Virgo and Capricorn, where their lifestyles cause them to think too hard and to work too hard and just end up becoming stressed out. Taurus basically lives the life of getting up, going to work, coming back home, relax, going back to bed, and repeat. Taurus is also the most materialistic out of the three. Capricorn and Virgo, while I'm sure they like to treat themselves here and there, are very frugal with their money. They want to feel financially secure, but Taurus loves making money more so for the sake of buying things. They are a sign of comfort and they will spend their money on anything to upkeep that feeling. And that could be anything ranging from delicious food to the latest technologies to stylish clothing, you name it. They just want to be surrounded by things that will make them feel comfortable even if it hurts their bank account. Now, you might be thinking, why is Taurus into material items? I mean, you'd picture an earth sign to be grounded, right? That they wouldn't focus their attention on those kinds of things. Well, while Taurus is steady and patient, they are ruled by Venus. Venus is not only the planet of love and relationships, but it's also the planet of beauty, the arts, and aesthetics. Feeling like they are living a life of luxury is what they value most. And being ruled by Venus is also what makes them more romantic and sensual compared to Virgo and Capricorn. Two things that a Taurus is most notorious for is their stubbornness and their resistance to change. That's why they're the sign of the bull, and that's why they're also a sign of comfort. They like to stay within their own little comfort zones. Change, whether it be on a low scale or a high scale, freaks them out. They are always wanting things to remain the same. And with their stubbornness, you cannot convince them to try anything new. It's near impossible. They basically have to get themselves to try something new. Anybody watching this that also watches the show Parks and Recreation, Ron Swanson is a perfect example of a Taurus. We are now at the wrap-up portion in our video where I tend to go over how can you tell when someone has a particular element in their chart? People that are particularly influenced by Earth are people that have a no-nonsense type of attitude. They can have dryness in their speech, and they can be dry in their humor too, and they could be very sarcastic. To also let you know that someone is influenced by Earth, they will also typically have a reserved nature. And because of that reserved nature, they can be seen as like stick in the muds. They're definitely not the most bombastic signs of the zodiac, I can tell you that much. But when it also comes to Earth, despite the fact that they can come off as reserved and they can come off as just very dry, they are actually very resourceful people. And they also give off hints of like being an old soul. So remember, Taurus is the bull, Virgo is the critical maiden, and Capricorn is the achievement-oriented goat. And that wraps up the Earth signs. And like I said last time, there are definitely more details, but in this video I was just going over the broad differences of their personas. Details regarding placements in a birth chart will be discussed in other videos for another time. Like I said earlier, I know that this video is much more simplistic compared to my fire sign video, but I hope that this video was enjoyable to watch regardless. As always, I appreciate you all so much for watching. Thank you so much. If any of you guys have Earth in any of your big three, please comment down below. Part 3 of this mini-series, it's on its way, in which I will be going over the differences between each of the air signs. In the meantime, you can also reach me on both Twitter and Instagram at snappycappy7. If you want to see more of my content, be sure to hit the subscribe button. And to know right away that I've uploaded a new video, click on the charming little instrument known as the bell. Be sure to like, be sure to share, and until then, take care.